Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to Daily Football Zone. I'm your host, Keb. Just me tonight. We recently put out a video that dropped this morning. I was with the Brown brothers, X and Darian. We spoke on, um, you know, um, Carson Wentz being released, the Chargers coaching staff moves, NFL Combine, a lot of stuff. That was our first video since last year. So, we took another brief hiatus. We'd be busy out here. So, go feel free to check that out. I know I spoke on that episode a little bit about wanting to start doing more podcast videos, more content videos as well. Just staying consistent. Life comes at you fast, and you got things that get in the way that tend to you know stop the content being made. But we're here to stay. We're gonna keep being consistent and motivated, and looking forward to bringing in more content for y'all, more videos for everybody. So, and speak on our analysis on NFL around the league and all that good stuff. So, yeah, today just want to put a video out. There's gonna be another video that we expected to be released on Thursday, so you can tune into that. I'll be joined by a couple others as well, so look forward to that probably Thursday morning. But today there was a lot of news that dropped today, Tuesday, February 28th. There's a lot of news that dropped right before March, and I'll get straight into it. Leonard Fournette to be released. Spent the last couple years in Tampa Bay. He was a first round pick out of Jacksonville in 2017. So, not surprised. His production was down last year. Plus, Tom Brady's not there, and there's a lot of needs. I'm not gonna say they're in a rebuild, but it's kind of looking that way. I'm not a big Todd Bowles believer anyway, so I think he'll be out the door eventually. And Leonard Fournette, he asked to be released, and they granted his wish. So, obviously, he wanted out of there. Which I don't blame him. I mean, that whole division's wide open, but I don't think Tampa Bay is going to win it in 2023. But, he wanted to be released. But potential landing spots, there's a couple teams that can use a running back. I think one team that could possibly target him is the Saints. I'm not sure what their cap space is and what Fournette would be asking. I'm sure they can get him for cheap, but he has ties to Louisiana. Obviously, we went to LSU, and I could see him going back to Louisiana playing ball. Also, the whole legal troubles that Alvin Kamara got himself into. We don't know if he's going to be suspended or not, and even if Kamara does play this year, they can use a two-headed monster back there with Kamara and Fournette. So I can see that being a likely destination. I mean, we'll see as free agency is around the corner. I mean, he can sign whenever, but I'm sure he'll visit teams and see what's best for him. I think Saints could be a potential landing spot, but he's not the only one that was set to be released. Also, quarterback Marcus Mariota, who signed with the Atlanta Falcons last year, only lasted 1 year with the team. Obviously, he got benched towards the end of the year for Desmond Ridder, who they drafted in the third round. So not surprised by that. There's also rumors that he quit on the team, and some other rumors about like he was with his family because he had a child or something like that. There's a lot of speculation around Mariota and all that going back to late last year. They own, I believe, the 8th overall pick. So, man, quarterback could be in play, or they can stick with Desmond Ridder. There's been reports that Desmond Ridder is likely to be their future going forward, but you really never know. Reports are reports. You don't know until you see the actions happen. So, I'm not going to count out the possibility of them drafting a quarterback or signing another quarterback. Obviously, they can pick up a veteran. Carson Wentz was just released. But excuse me. But they had $55 million in cap space before the release. After releasing Mariota, they're getting close to $65 million from what I read. So, for a guy that's obviously not their future, I save about $10 million is key. The Falcons could use a lot of free agent acquisitions, and they need the money to bring in talent because, obviously they're middle of the pack team, not great, not the worst team in the league, but they weren't good. Obviously, it wasn't a playoff team, so they need a couple. They have holes they need to fill, especially on the defense side of the ball, and they can use some better talent at receiver. Drake London, he did good his rookie year. Kyle Pitts been a disappointment. Um, the run game is the run game. They got a couple of young backs, and they got Patterson back there still. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what they'll do as I think they have like I think they're like the second or third. I know they're top 5 when it comes to cap space going into free agency. So, that'll be a team to watch. For sure. See what they have up their sleeve. Arthur Smith's in like this is his 3rd year now, so you know, he needs to start making some moves at head coach and start winning some ball games, or he'll be on the hot seat sooner than later. But we can get into more news around the league. Another player that was released was New York Giants wide receiver Kenny Golladay was released after 2 years with the team. They're going to release him. Well, I should have put to be released as well, like I did Leonard Fournette, because he's not going to be released till March 15th, which is the first day of the new league year. Waiting till March 15th saves them $6.7 million in cap space. So he's still on the roster for a couple, like 2 weeks or so. But yeah, the Giants paid him $36 million just to catch 43 catches and 1 touchdown in 2 seasons. So obviously not the production that they were expecting out of him, because they gave him a $72 million deal back in 2021 after some good years in Detroit with Matthew Stafford. We'll see. I'm sure Kenny Golladay can. With all this, backlash he's getting, I'm sure he'll sign a 1-year deal with some team. Obviously, he getting $72 million or even close to 36, but we'll see. New York, probably this wasn't a good fit for him, but at this point in his career, those 2 years in New York kind of are hurting him, and he's not looking like he'll be the number 1 in any other team anytime soon or at all for the rest of his career. But yeah, I'm sure he'll still, he'll be with the team. And if he gets cut in the preseason, it'll probably be then. If his career's done, his career's done. But they paid him $36 million for 43 catches, and obviously that is not good. After giving him a $72 million deal, so we'll see. How his free agent market pans out. But that's pretty much it for all the main guys that were released today. I also want to talk about Austin Blythe. He announced his retirement via Instagram, and I have that up here. He said on Instagram, "I always told myself I wouldn't do some long-winded retirement post, but I'm not sure how to leave behind a game that's afforded myself and my family so many opportunities without giving at least some words. The last 7 years have been nothing short of amazing. For a short, unathletic, undersized kid from Iowa, I played a lot of football, met countless coaches and teammates that I can call friends, and made enough memories for myself and my family to last a lifetime. I am so grateful and extremely blessed to have played the game for the amount of time, let alone 7 years." He was a 7th round pick by the Colts back in 2016. So, played 7 years in the league. He started 17 games for Seattle in 2022, and he also played for the Rams and Chiefs. I believe, he won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs back in, what year was that? 2019. So, being a 7th round guy, you don't always get the opportunity to, let alone play long. But I'm sure he's accomplished enough in his NFL career to call it quits. Eventually it's just, injuries pile up, and you want to spend more time with your family, and NFL, playing football gets in the way. So, good for him, and hope well for him for the rest of his, what he plans on doing after the NFL. But the last thing I want to get into is Derek Carr meeting with teams in Indianapolis. Shouldn't be, we're approaching 10 minutes, so it's not that long of a video I got for y'all today. Something quick and easy. But Derek Carr's meeting with teams in Indianapolis. Obviously, the combine's coming up. The combine starts on Thursday, the 2nd. So I'm sure he's going to meet with a lot of teams that are in Indianapolis. I know he's meeting with my Panthers. My thoughts on that: if it happens, it happens. At this point, I'm not putting too much emotion into it. But do I prefer it? No. But they're one of the teams to look out for. Even he's in Indianapolis. He can end up staying in Indianapolis because they need a quarterback too. Only thing is, just like Carolina, do the Indianapolis Colts want to put a flyer on another veteran quarterback like Carolina has been doing, like how they've been doing, and they've had a week 1. What was it, going back to 2018, where they've had a different week 1 starter going into the year. So they gave up a 2nd round pick, and I think 1 2nd round pick and probably another pick for Matt Ryan last year. Obviously, that didn't work out. The year before that, they had Philip Rivers. Was it Philip Rivers before that? I just know they've been putting flyers on some used quarterbacks, and Carolina's been doing the same. So man, we'll see. Frank Reich, Carolina coach, he should know that what got him fired was trading for Matt Ryan. Do you really want to sign Derek Carr? And if it not work out, I'm sure David Tepper is getting tired of the used quarterbacks as well. I'm sure you might want to draft a quarterback. And the same goes for Indianapolis. You got a new coach out there. But that front office is gonna be like, do we really want to bring in another used quarterback? So those two teams, who knows? I mean, they're meeting with Carolina, doesn't mean he's signing with Carolina. But they said they went well with the Jets. So maybe he ends up in New York. I mean, I don't know. Houston needs a quarterback. Maybe they avenge David Carr and bring in his brother, and then they can draft somebody else at second overall. I don't think that's likely, but D'Amico Ryan's being a defensive guy, you might just pull that trigger and draft someone like Will Anderson, or if Jalen Carter, if the Bears decide to trade back and end up not getting them. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a great time of year. I feel like that's why I always start the podcast back up during this time of year, because it's always great to talk free agency and the NFL drafts coming up. And then when it comes to the off season, when it's training camps barely not even going yet, I tend to focus on other things and then eventually put this on the back burner. But I don't plan on doing that this year. I know I said on the video I released today that things are going to change with Daily Football Zone. Not going to be breaking news like how we used to on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, but still talk about it when it comes on video. I'm all for it. It's putting out more video content, YouTube content, podcast content, on Spotify. I'm trying to get on Apple. I don't know why we're not on Apple, but we're on Spotify. We're on Spotify. I think Google as well, Google Podcasts. I know Spotify for sure. But I appreciate everyone that's going to tune in. I appreciate everyone that's subscribe and following us along on our journey to bring more NFL content. Obviously, there's a lot of people doing it. Obviously, me being a fan my whole life, I want to bring my input on certain subjects and news and all that. So, until next time, I hope y'all have a great night and see you on Thursday.